I sat down with Keith Baker to talk about Eberron, Daggerheart, and his advice for creating a setting.
Just made a campaign frame for Daggerheart that we haven't done anything with yet. We're probably going to release somewhere somehow. But that it is all set in a city, because the city is the setting. It's all the setting you need. It's sort of like, if you go back, dating myself here, but the series Thieves' World.
Yeah.
And Thieves' World is Sanctuary. And you get occasional hints about the Empire or whatever, but you don't need anything more. That's the setting for the story. So that's the first thing I say is, what actually is the setting? Eberron is the whole world because it's about globetrotting adventure. It's about many different types of stories you can tell, and so it needs to be big. Whereas actually often otherwise what I will do is start with a small point and expand the world out from there. Say, this is the core thing that drives the story I want to tell right now, and then I will add the bigger picture. Okay, well, we have the Church of the Nine. What is that exactly? Now we're going to have the Inquisition show up, so we better figure it out. Like expand out as you need to. As opposed to, again, in some cases, whatever the story you want to tell needs a big world, in which case you have to say, something about Eberron is, when I pitched it to Wizards, the original setting Bible had probably 3 times as many nations. And one of the things we all did when Chris and Bill and James, and I sat in that room, is they were like, let's cut that down. And that was the right decision, because you look at things and say, well, our world has so many countries and nations, so it feels like this should too.
Yeah.
But when are you going to actually detail them? When are you going to write about them? And if you don't write about them, people can't really use them. And so what's the point?
Even J.R.R. Tolkien did not fill out
right.
There's a lot to these.
Exactly. And so that's the main thing I always say is, remember that you are making something for a story. And sometimes realism isn't actually going to make a better story. So again, figure out what you need. What is the story you're trying to tell, and how does the setting, however big or small it is, serve that story? Now, what I'll say is that Eberron and the new thing we're working on now, which I'm not ready to say too much about, but what I will say is they are both settings in which they have more than one story to tell. That this isn't a campaign frame because it's a world that supports more than one campaign frame. And, it is something bigger. And that's the same point of Eberron, is if I was making Eberron and Daggerheart, you've got your Indiana Jones campaign frame. You've got Frontiers of Eberron, which I just came out, which is a Western. You've got Mysteries on the Mean Streets of Sharn. All of those in Daggerheart would be different frames. And that is the point of what we're working on now, is something that is bigger than one frame.
Why do you love doing this?
It's something I've always loved. Like when I was a child, basically first when I was a child, I got the first D&D books when I was 6. And I just loved the monster manual. I'm like, this is just a book of monsters. This is the coolest thing ever. And by the time I was 14, I said, I'm holding a book. Someone has the job of making this book. I want that job.
Yeah. I love making new characters. I'm obsessed with it, and one of the ways that I love to do that is through HeroForge.com. You can make virtually any type of character you want, and now you can take anything from HeroForge and print them out inside of your own customized dice. HeroForge custom dice literally offer a story in every roll. They're 3D printed using the same process as HeroForge's color printed minis. The clear material of the dice is printed in exactly the same layers as the item. The character is bust inside, resulting in a solid and perfectly weighted dice. Anything that you can find on HeroForge.com can be added into the Dice Maker and printed out in dice form. Do visit HeroForge.com to start designing your custom miniature and dice today. Check back often. They are constantly updating the website with brand new content.
But what drove it was I loved making stories with my friends. And I was the forever DM. But I loved creating a story, putting it out there, and then seeing what people would do with it. And part of the point of this is I have an adventure. I traveled around the world in 2009, basically couch surfing, DMing. And I have an adventure that I have run at this point 70 times. And I can still run that adventure tomorrow and have fun with it because I want to see what you do with it. How you handle the problems that no one else has ever done. It's like I get to watch a TV show I love, but there's a whole bunch of different actors and they're taking a different take on the characters. And so I love not just making a story, because I've written novels, but when I write a novel, all that's there is what I put in it. Whereas when I run a game, I get to see you do something with it that I never expected to have coming, and I love that.
You've looked at Daggerheart, correct? Like, obviously you have, because you've been excited.
Well, I mean,
a little bit.
I guess. It's a game of some sort, isn't it?
That's a horrible question.
Yes, no, absolutely.
But I mean, given that you've taken a look at Daggerheart, you want to create a campaign setting in there. What is your advice for players and also game masters who want to learn Daggerheart or play Daggerheart?
Well, I mean, the first thing is
you have this unique perspective.
And part of what I love about Daggerheart is I love the structure of the campaign frame, because the point of the campaign frame is it presents you with a lot of hooks for character ideas, for one of the things it has is player principles and DM principles. And part of that is just saying, well, think about these things when we're going into this. This is the kind of story we're telling. These are the kind of characters you want to make. And to me, that's just basically the point, is you aren't just dropping in and saying, I don't know, I'm an elf fighter.
Yeah.
You're saying, well, okay, but this is a story in which we're going to explore the interface, the interaction between technology and superstition. How's my character, how's that connect to me? So again, I love that campaign frame structure, and part of what I'm saying is just read the different campaign frames in the book, because that will help you see this is the scope of what this setting, this system is looking to do. Like, you can do any of these very different stories within the system. Other than that, I mean, part of the point of it is a pretty straightforward system to learn. You are making these basic choices. Choose your ancestry, choose your community, choose your class, plonk, plonk, plonk. And the fact that you've got the cards means that you can even just lay them out and just say, here, these are your choices, pick one. But on top of that, I love it's a zany, wacky thing, but it's just a little thing that I'm like, oh, I like that, nice touch, which is, I think they call it the sidecar. It is a sheet that you can download from their website, and you just put it under the character sheet and slide it either to the left or the right. And it's a little set of sidebars that point at the character sheet and say, this is what this is. Oh. This is your defense. It means if you do this, blah, blah, blah. And what I love about that is just looking to D&D, it is intimidating to hand someone the original character sheet that has just all this stuff that they really don't need to know right away. And so I love that, Daggerheart character sheet is still complicated, but at least they've got this is exactly what you're looking at. This is what this is for. And take a moment and look at that. Like, it'll walk you through it. And I just love that. It's just a fun little touch.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a lot of thought. Yeah, Spencer and Rowan really killed it.
Yep.
For the design. I think we're probably about done.
Fair enough.
Real quick, just how soon do you think we're going to see this new campaign setting for Daggerheart?
I mean, it's going to be big, so it's not going to be fast.
Okay.
I would like to, on my Patreon and in general, walk people through the process. Like, do some videos, do some things, just sort of talking about what we're doing. How are we taking these steps? Certainly, I'll be sharing pieces of it that we're working on. But like I said, we're really looking forward, both Jen and I are really looking forward to sort of letting people join us on the journey. But we're definitely talking sometime next year,
And my final question is, how do you, for those that have not played Eberron, how do you, because it's such a big part of your life still, and you're still creating content, how do you encourage them? What is Eberron for those that don't know, and how do you encourage them to check out the content that you're making for Eberron?
Well, honestly, that's something I want to make some content for, to literally help you find out, like, oh, if you think Eberron is interesting, let's talk about it. The basic 3 pillars of Eberron are, it embraces in different poles pulp adventure, like high energy, over the top, big damn heroes. But on the other hand, it also embraces noir intrigue, shades of gray, difficult questions, things not always ending well, hard-boiled detectives on the mean streets of Sharn. And then the third point is magic as part of everyday life. If arcane magic behaves like a science, then it should evolve like a science. And so in Eberron, arcane magic is a part of everyday life. You have airships, you have the lightning rail, you have streets lit by continual flame, and you have wand slingers, having duels. And so that's sort of that part of it, is a world where magic is a science, but also you have this spectrum between over-the-top heroic adventure and sort of gritty shades of gray, don't know where things are going to go. Certainly, I write on my website, keithbaker.com, and on Patreon, I do even deeper stuff. And certainly on Patreon, you're going to be seeing peeks at what we do with Daggerheart as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Eberron's a fantastic location that also has the Artificer. You've got the Warforged. If you love robots and constructs, you'll love Warforged. It is an awesome setting that covers like really kind of pulp adventure, really.
Yeah.
Like you got dinosaurs, you've got
halflings on dinosaurs.
Halflings on dinosaurs.
Yep.
What more could you want? Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and leave a comment. That all helps the channel. And we have a Patreon page where that's how we fund creating these videos, flying around the country and affording the equipment to do these interviews. And we also make playtest material as well. Thank you so much for watching.